Visiting Atlanta for the first time and wanting to avoid the city's biggest tourist traps and scams? Stick with us, because some of these could really ruin your trip if you're not ready for them. Hi, I'm Arielle with Unexpected Atlanta. We're the city's #1 rated tour guides. That means we know our city in and out. And today, we're going to make sure that you get the most of your visit without getting stuck with the city's tourist traps and scams. All right, little 5 points versus 5 points. Let's start with the biggest point of confusion. This one catches visitors every single time. There are 2 places in Atlanta with 5 points in the name, and they could not be more different. 5 Points is a MARTA station. It's in the heart of downtown and a transit infrastructure, but there isn't much directly surrounding it. 5 Points, you have to walk about 5 to 10 minutes away to get into Mercedes-Benz Dome, the newly renovated South Downtown area, fairly popular, and the Centennial Park District, as well as the majority of the hotels in the city. And 5 Point feels a bit run down, so we actually prefer directing guests to take the Sports Entertainment and Conference Station or the Peachtree Center Station instead. On the other hand, Little 5 Points, that is a funky, eclectic tattoo shop and vintage store neighborhood that you actually probably do want to visit. It's got character, it's got weird energy, it's got great food. It's also nowhere near 5 Points in downtown. So if your Uber driver looks confused when you say 5 points, clarify immediately. Little 5 Points, probably. All right, MARTA Kiosks. Speaking of MARTA, heads up on this one. Those ticket kiosks you might have seen at MARTA stations, a lot of them are out of service or being phased out because MARTA has moved almost entirely online. You need to download the Breeze app or load up your Breeze card digitally before you get to the station. And even better, you can just tap a credit card or a digital wallet against the new ticket stations and walk right through, making it even easier to ride. So don't show up at the airport at 11 p.m. expecting to buy a paper ticket from a machine. All right, next up, parking. Let's talk parking, because this is where Atlanta's reputation gets unfair. People hear Atlanta and assume they're going to pay $40 to park in some downtown garage. And yeah, you can do that, but you don't have to. Atlanta has one of the highest percentage of parking in any downtown city in the country, at nearly 16% of the available space as parking. It's actually not a good thing from the perspective of urban planning, but it does mean that there is plentiful parking everywhere. There's street parking in Atlanta. It's often available and it's almost always cheaper than the lots. But, and this is important, Park ATL does not play. Park in the wrong direction, ticket. Meter runs out, ticket. Park 2 inches into a no parking zone, ticket. Parking is all done on mobile apps now, but you make sure you are checking your meter frequently, parking in the correct direction of traffic and reading every single sign. How do we know? Well, our teams, we've gotten tickets, all of us, we all have in these ways. The savings are real, but so is the parking enforcement. Speaking of theft from cars, quick but important tip, do not leave valuables in your car. I know, you've heard this everywhere, but Atlanta parking lots and garages do see smash and grab incidents, and tourists are targets because you often have luggage, bags, or gear visible in your back seat. Take everything with you. Leave nothing. Not your bag, not your charger, not even your cup holder. If you want to leave your luggage somewhere safe, you can store your luggage with us for a small fee at our headquarters. We're at 121 Lucky Street. A broken window will ruin your whole trip. Ponce City Market rooftop. Ponce City Market is great. I love Ponce City Market, but let's talk about that rooftop. Skyline Park, because I want you to go in with your eyes open. There is a cover charge to get up there. And then the activities, the rides, the mini golf, the games, those cost extra on top of that. So it adds up fast. And if you go in the summer, it is hot up there. Atlanta summers, they're no joke, and there's not a ton of shade. It can be a really fun time, but know what you're signing up for. Maybe save the rooftop for a cooler evening in the fall. Speaking of the Beltline on weekends, the Atlanta Beltline is one of the coolest things about this city. It's a trail that loops around the whole in-town area. It's lined with art, restaurants, and parks. You need to experience it. But if you show up on the East Side Trail on a Saturday afternoon, you are going to be shoulder to shoulder with half of Atlanta. It is packed. Here's your insider move. Try the West Side Trail, the South Side Trail, or the North Side section. Just as beautiful, fraction of the crowds, and honestly, it's a more authentic Atlanta experience. The East Side gets all the press, but the rest of the Beltline is where the locals actually go. The traffic myth. All right, finally, Atlanta traffic. You've heard the horror stories, and yes, I-75, 85 through the connector can be genuinely brutal. But here's what nobody tells you. A huge portion of that traffic is people passing through Atlanta, not people trying to get around or into Atlanta. If you're staying in town, just use MARTA or time your trip right. You may find that Atlanta traffic is way more manageable than its reputation suggests. But avoid the connector during morning and evening rush hour. Use surface streets when you can, and consider the fact that most Atlantans' best stuff is concentrated enough that you might not even need to get on the highway at all. All right, so to wrap up, that's your survival guide. Atlanta is one of the most exciting cities in the country, and now you're ready to enjoy it without getting caught out. If this helped you, hit subscribe. We do this all the time. We want to share the real tips, the real Atlanta. So drop a comment and tell me, has any of these ever gotten you? I want to hear your stories. So see you out there.